G'day punters, welcome to the Mailbags preview show for the Australia Cup and the Newmarket Handicap, the two Group 1s at Flemington. Pretty decent day out there at headquarters, weather looks good, Jack Dickens will be on course wearing a goat t-shirt apparently if the VRC lets you in wearing that sort of paraphernalia. Have you washed that since Monday?
I've got like 4 of them.
God.
I didn't wear it yesterday. But yeah, I've watched a couple. I've watched a lot of trials for this Newmarket. There's a really interesting trial. I don't know when it was, near the end of February, and it's got like a stack of them: Elite Street, Imaging, Celebrity Queen, Flit, September Run, Serious Suspect, and Swats That. Maybe one more. September Run, Swats That under a big, like Willow would have been in the jockeys' rooms if they go into him after trials. I don't know, Curly, you'd know better, but he would have been icing his pipes after that thing. Like he was really holding on. Would have been fucking sore. I thought Elite Street's trial was really, really strong, as was Serious Suspect. I think Serious Suspect can be a player here if that's the way the straight races are racing. But the big field, you're likely to see a really good tempo here, more so than I think sometimes the straight races favour those on-pace horses because there's not a lot of runners and there's no tempo. And it's just hard to catch them. I think we get a good tempo here. But, yeah, I thought Elite Street's jump out was good. Same with Serious Suspect. I thought Flip was pretty good too. And I'm interested, it's set up here, but it's half all noise because I think September Run probably starts $1.90 or shorter, and barring severe bad luck, probably just wins.
Yeah, so you went off half-cocked there. I didn't even introduce the race, but that's okay. Group 1, 1,200 metres down the straight. September Run's $2.20. Are you suggesting that September Run at $2.20 is a bet, or are you neutral?
I think you could comfortably take $2.20 now. You should head to the mailbag.com.au, support the show, support the boys, get them out in our mail. And if there's something amiss or the track's not going to suit or something happens, I'm pretty confident you'll be able to trade out big time on the fair late.
Okay, I like it. Curls, we saw this horse plenty of times down the straight over the last, 12 months or so. Produced fat figures. Is that enough? Are we just running with the Fabergino theory from last week? It's got the track and distance stats and nothing else matters?
Yeah. Bad luck beats it. It runs a PB. It just it's improving. It's good. Its figures are good enough now, but I think it's got the potential. The setup has the potential for it to go to another level, and I think only bad luck beats it. A little bit like last week, like you say, let's just back the best horse.
I mean, it makes sense. If we're just having a quick look at so it raced 3 times last prep, twice at 1,100, once at 1,200. The 1,200 metre figure wasn't as strong as that second 1,100 metre figure, which it produced a 14.1, produced a 13.7 first up, over the 1,000, down the straight. I guess the other race you could possibly look at as a form reference coming into this is the race that Indian Pacific ran second to Fabergino, producing a 12.9. So there's some comparable figures there. And Celebrity Queen produced a 16.4 first start in Victoria, but that was at Caulfield.
I just think, I think we all agree, and the market's telling us this is the best horse in the race. It's got 54 kilos as well. It's just a box-ticking machine.
Okay.
I hate tipping $2 shots on this show. It's disgusting behaviour, but I'm trying to get around it, but it just looks like a dead set certainty. 1,200's ideal. The straight's ideal. There's a few here without straight track form. I think Serious Suspect's a player at odds. I think you get a huge price late. And I do think if you just hate backing favourites, which you probably should, the other way to play the race is just to say, like, instead of dropping 100 straight on the favourite there in September Run, is to drop $10 on 10 horses here, because there's a stack of chances in this race. Zutori goes well down the straight, not suited, not overly suited in that Caulfield Lightning, was it? Oakley Plate.
Oakley Plate, yeah.
A stack of good runs. Like, Standout was a good run in that race, I thought.
It was the other one I was going to mention, Standout. Like, it's $51. It was good. It was very strong late. It missed the blinkers this week. You could see it improving off that Caulfield run, and $51 looks a pretty big price. But it is, like, I suppose, like you say, outside of the obvious, there's a host of chances.
Okay.
I thought if you don't want to back the favourite, I'll be having something Zutori, something Elite Street, that's $21, $27. I'd have something on Indian Pacific at $26, and probably Serious Suspect to be the other one. I think that's too short, but it's sort of on the same path as the favourite in September Run. The most interesting horse here, and like going back years, Drew and I used to speak about this. I'm convinced that Dalasan's a better like sprinter than a stayer.
You were saying that all last year on the deep dive.
Yeah, well, I've been saying it for a while, but this is a pretty good sprint race to sort of kick off in. So, and the trial, I've only seen the one trial for it, and it was just so. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't easy to stamp because it was over there at Morphettville versus not much. So, fascinated to see it parade, Pete. That'll be one of the most exciting horses of the day for us.
Yep. Good walker, that horse. Good walker. Okay. For what it's worth, I'll stick fat with Zutori. Thought it had a bit of improvement to go. So, and obviously those track distance stats. That's what we're all about here, surely. Okay, let's have a look at the Australian Cup Group 1 over 2,000 metres. I think the Noises, Hayes and Dabernig are going for, 4 wins in a row or something like that. But they got Fitty Stars as the current favourite, 460 from Parity at 6. Everything else is double figures. And again, if you don't like the favourite, there's a host of chances here.
Who wants to start here?
I'll start because I'll do the least amount of talking about this race, and I'll let you articulate the race. But I'm having 2 bets in this race. I'm backing Humidor and 50 Stars. 50 Stars being the obvious, and I'm sure you'll outline all the reasons why. It's Humidor is like, he's just too good, Waller, to not be thinking that this is like the target. We've seen him, we've seen Humidor run against the elite last prep. He won first up and then, just missed Russian Camelot, or ran second, don't say just missed, but second Russian Camelot. All good figures in those couple of races now. Just having a look at his, he improved a couple of lengths first up to second up last time. This is a different preparation, obviously 14 to 2,000, but that doesn't really worry me too much with Waller. Like I say, ran against the best of them, and just a massive price for a proper horse from a proper camp coming here. As he's got a bit older, he's probably going to have a lighter prep. That makes sense. He's an 8-year-old. Second run up to 2,000, it would not shock at all, and I think he's a big price.
I don't mind that. Dickens?
I kind of thought the same with both. But and also maybe Platoon and somewhat Warning at the prices. Well, Warning might be the sort of horse that has matured enough now to sort of deliver. Sort of won that Derby on ability. So last prep, but it had a big prep leading into that last prep. Thought it could improve, but I thought Warning, Platoon and Humidor's maps, the track needs to be running on for them to be competitive. And there's not rails out 5 metres. Sometimes that does throw up a bit of a leaderish track. This is a big staying race, so it is less relevant. But there's going to be good horses that they've got to catch sort of 5 to 6 lengths on. And there's a stack of them like Nonconformist, Steel Prince, Chapada, Miami Bound, Shared Ambition, Defibrillate, Platoon, Warning, Humidor that don't want to go forward. So I can't see them going that quick. I think they're just going to find their spots and get into their work. And then just sort of hope for a bit of a toe, that 3 wide, then 4 wide line. Again, he's a favourite here, but 50 stars is very, very hard to knock. Like barrier 3 is perfect. Like absolutely perfect. The horse does have some tactical speed, so it's going to use that gate. It's going to get a really cushy, soft spot there. We know it loves this track. It gets this trip. Like it ran second last preparation this track and trip on a good 3, which is probably going to be on Saturday, to Arcadia Queen, who I'm pretty convinced is the best horse in Australia. The form's spot on. The barrier's perfect. John Allen gets on great with this horse. It was very, very good last start. I didn't think it could win. Either did you, Peter, mid-race, like where it was. Like they made good ground in that race, those two horses. Ran like the quick back up and the extra trip's perfect. It's really, really hard to knock the horse.
It is very box ticking, isn't it? And it did win the race last year as well, off a very similar platform, very similar rating in the same race, in the Blamey.
Yeah, so look, really boring for me this week, but I just think September Run's going to win. I think 50 stars will win. That's about it.
Okay.
Like, it had the identical preparation last year and won.
Yep.
And I think Star of the Seas is a little bit better than Secret Blaze, the horse that ran second to it last year versus the horse that beat it last week.
I guess
I think it's going as good.
Yeah, and the other thing in this race, it does look like it's got a reasonably long tail in terms of horses that, at their best, or would need to improve a stack to be figuring against a horse that has been there, done that, proven itself over to 2,000.
As to which way the market goes, though, I'm not sure. Like, it went 8.2 lengths slow to the 600, first up over 400 metres behind Colette. But that was that good form race, which proved a good form race last week in Sydney.
Yeah.
But they walked. Then he's gone 9 lengths fast, above the all-average punting form benchmark last start. And he's backing up 7 days. So it is important to watch this horse parade. We got a really good read on him last week. We can just go off that again on Saturday to make the decision and pull the trigger here. But only sort of chink I could find is he's on the quick back up after having a much more intense outing versus what he did first up.
Yep. Any love for Homesman?
Some map love if it's racing on pace.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I was just impressed with what he did first up. I didn't necessarily know how he would go, but the figure was reasonable. I know it was only a slowish tempo, but that's probably the one I'll be chopping on because of his strength to sit on speed.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm really excited to see what Warning does this prep. Looking forward to see it parade.
Yeah.
We had a really big result on it when it won the Derby, but it was basically because of when it either won or ran really well at Flemington. I sort of fell in love with it in the yard. It was a really nice animal, big athletic thing with a great walk. So really want to see how it's come back.
It was 18 months ago or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That Derby win. Like, I haven't missed him. That Sydney campaign, the Sydney campaign last prep wasn't enough, so they thought they'd go to Adelaide. And then come back, and then like Maccabi Diva, Turnbull, Caulfield, Melbourne Cups. Like, it'll be a yard horse for me. It'll be interesting to see what your thoughts are from the yard because, like I say, it's hasn't won for a long time, and it's won 2 races. You know, it'll be interesting to see what you think of how it's come back.
Yeah. But like, to the horse's defence, like, it was slaughtered that day at Caulfield. There's that German rider who's gone home now. Before Ollie got on.
German?
Win the Derby. Like, I should have won there. Yeah, it's run into like Dalasan, who was flying, then Russian Camelot, Fierce Impact, Very Elegant twice, and then the Melbourne Cup. So
So I mean, they haven't
won a
missed.
stack of races. It's been up against like the elite of the elite.
That's what I mean. They haven't missed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Final one for me, Shared Ambition, quick word.
Maps are tricky.
Gate 2, you don't think they'll
It'd
just...
be good to speak to Chris Waller and find out what they plan to do.
we might be able to arrange that.
Hopefully we can sort something out there. Because, if it sort of settles near 50 stars, I think it's primed to run a pretty good race.
Yeah.
But you're sort of... I hate speed mapping to suit your sort of agenda. I think it's a real big mistake you can fall into. I think it's favourite to settle well worse in midfield on the fence, which I don't want to be.
Okay. All right, very good. Kels, what's happening up your way this weekend?
Eagle Farm Saturday, which is... look, we've got the big double cutest dual day next Saturday. And I say this with the utmost respect, Peter, to all connections, is that anything that's any good is not racing today, Saturday at Eagle Farm. They're saving it for the Gold Coast the following Saturday, big prize money day. So we've got some small fields. We've got some fields with long tails. It's going to be a pretty mundane sort of days racing. We know that Eagle Farm track has copped some negative publicity from trainers and boycotting the track and things like that, and their acceptances are starting to reflect that a little bit too. So just usual sort of thing with Eagle Farm, be horses for courses. So yeah, the racing's hots up next week. We'll do a review of the big races next week. There's it's a big race day here next week. So
it was probably a pretty mundane day yesterday in Queensland too, and you absolutely cleaned them up.
Yeah, you're feeling a little bit better after yesterday compared with what you were feeling on Sunday?
Well, it's a great game wagering, isn't it? Like, I took myself and subscribers who I also almost have to refer to as disciples now because they've stuck fat. We took 550 wonderful Rai map, and obviously the track down was perfect for it. And then it goes 550 to $10 the fare.
Is that
after
ex
the
push
parade. I didn't look. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So I've gone again. We've gone again at $10 at the fair, and then at about the 500, I thought to myself, well, this is it. Like, I'm going down to Woolies to chuck my resume in because he's given this an absolute stinker of a steer. How's he ended up there? And by some way of the punting gods has made sure that the leader stuck hard fence and wonderful Rai getting in the middle of the track and getting the cash. It was a watershed moment, and I mean that literally. I had a tear in my eye. But so I'm up and about, looking forward to the main meeting this week in Queensland on Saturday is Dalby, for the time-honoured Dalby Newmarket. So we'll get out there and we'll bet Dalby, I think, rather than do too much at Eagle Farm by looks of the acceptances.
You'll be on track at Dalby?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be? Yeah, can't wait. I just got to check whether they've got phone service connected up there yet, and if they have, I'll be out there. Because last time I went to Dalby, it wasn't the phone service. It was the issue was that they painted the it's not a grandstand. It's like a lean-to, right? Like a bit of tin that covers the betting ring. They painted it. So to paint it properly, they cut the cables that go from that have Sky Channel and the live feed of the races in the betting ring. So they cut the cable and didn't bother putting it back together. So hopefully, being a tab meeting on a Saturday, that they've got that sorted.
Well, because we're doing the show, I just missed one. 380 to 250, and it's run unplaced. Fuck, what a game.
Jock it down for another moral victory.
That's me, pistol for Saturday anyway. It's there's no Toowoomba Saturday night, thankfully. But there is Gold Coast on Saturday Arvo as well, and we've had a bit of rain around, so hopefully they don't have to move the running rail in or out 1 minute before the first. So we won't be betting early until they get the first race run and won, so we can bet with some bit of confidence.
I like it. Quick shout out to those on course at Bunbury. It's the Bunbury Cup, Bunbury Stakes double this Saturday. Prayers, thoughts, everything crossed for Montalena. $1.70 favourite in the Bunbury Cup. I'll be probably about 17 old fashions deep by that stage, trying to numb the nerves. But good luck to the club. It's going to be a huge day. Sounds like they're basically sold out the entire place. So it should be a heap of noise, heaps of fun going on. I think they're doing a punters club that's going to be co-run by the Turf Club. Luke Dayton will be shipping up for Team Mailbag. I think we've got the 1-1 Pod Boys and also Cripper and Tim Gears also teaming up. So that should be good fun if you're on course. I'll be firing in my best work with dates, and I'm sure we'll just smash them. So anyway, look forward to that.
Pistol, I just had a quick look at the field. There is no Cerise and White.
There is not.
So you're a chance.
Did you get an update on
you're a chance of winning.
Steward's inquiry?
It's happening today.
Ooh, stand by.
Very good.
What about just for like the 98% of the viewers that don't understand what an old fashioned is, mate?
Delicious brown liquor or other sorts. It depends how you want to make it, but typically brown liquor. Some bitters, a little bit of sugar syrup, garnished with orange and/or lemon. If you're American, you'll probably include a cherry. Served in a chilled glass. To be enjoyed.
Now, are you definitely coming on Saturday, or are you still 50-50 depending if you get a text?
I'll be there on Saturday.
No show at Sandown again yesterday, guys. Don't know what's happening, but he might be properly in love.
It's a big allegation.
Well, you know, where was he? Jacko and I just had to, man the ship.
In 4-degree weather. Would have been great.
Yeah, we were rugged right up. I got him a McFlurry with a lot too. Popped his cherry. And a McChicken.